Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Freedom Thinking Community Group. It is the date of the 8th of December, 2025. Thank you all so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Loads and loads of love. Thank you, everybody who's watching this in catch up, and thank you to everybody who supports us. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. That's brilliant for us. Apparently, it helps with the algorithms and helps us get out to more people who hopefully can hear this message, and we can help more people if we can. Let's go for it. This is via donation event. If you wish to make a donation, please consider making a donation. It helps Jen and I along. The links are in the description below this video on YouTube. Best way for us is friends and family, PayPal, or just get in touch with us and we can send you our bank details and whatnot. So, yeah, Jen's on her way in a few minutes. She's running a little bit behind as per usual. It's 7 o'clock at night. We have a 3-year-old, so we've got stuff to be doing. But she's on her way. So yeah, don't forget we've got our retreat. Got a couple of places left. Go check with that. Have we still got a couple of places left? Yeah, got a couple of places left on the retreat in Suffolk on the 6th to the 11th of February. Is that right? Right? 6th to the 10th. 6th to the 10th of February in Suffolk. If anybody can make it, it'd be lovely to see you. Lovely spot. It'll be 4 days of just exploring this place to get quiet, a place where we see a lot of transformations take place in the 4 days. If people are interested in that. And there's a wood-powered hot tub, there's a sauna, we're not far from the beach. Beautiful property. In its own grounds. Looking good. It's looking really, really beautiful. So there's a couple of places left. If you're interested, get in touch. It's $795 per person. That's for bed and breakfast and dinner. Is that right? Yep. Bed and breakfast and dinner. There's self-catering stuff for lunch and stuff, or you can go out and go and get lunch because you have reasonable time off in the afternoon to go and get lunch, go and get coffees. And yeah, looking forward to it. Okay, I just wanted to talk about something and then I want to open this up to questions. I want to talk about limitation or our perception of limitation. I was doing some thinking the other day. I was listening to a song which included words by a man named Alan Watts. Anybody aware of Alan Watts? Yeah, Lisa's nodding. A few shaking heads. Johnny's nodding. And as he was speaking, Alan Watts seems to be a man who he's dead now, to be a man who discovered a lot about life, a beautiful mind. But as he was speaking, something became really, really obvious. A way to talk about the infinite. Because our limitation is a contraction of the mind. It's a limitation placed upon the mind. And the only thing that places limitation upon the mind is ourself. And we do it by the way what we believe. The infinite cannot be expressed as long as we live in the confines of belief. Sid Banks said there is no peace to be found in beliefs. No peace to be found in beliefs. Very simple statement, but a very powerful statement, a very true statement. You know, we're living in a time in the world where we have such polarized beliefs. And at this present moment in time, the world appears to be getting slightly more chaotic as people become more and more fixed in their thinking and more, what's the word? More living in their self-righteousness. I don't know how long this will last. I personally believe it will come to an end. And I personally believe that there's a big awakening taking place on this planet and people will come together in love. I think we might have to go through a little bit of turmoil before we get there, but in the long run, I think we're heading in the right direction. But there's no peace to be found in beliefs. There's a big difference between a belief and something you actually know, you know. Do you believe that? Or do you know that? It's a big difference. People die over their beliefs. People kill one another over their beliefs. But as long as it's a belief, clearly it can't be something you truly know, because that won't be a belief. Beliefs can change. And I'll be honest, there's not much I know. There's very, very little I personally know, and I do get humbled quite regularly as I start to believe that I think I know something. But the more and more I've looked into life, the more and more I've discovered that old saying by, who the hell was it? Socrates, was it? I know I am wise, for I know I know nothing. We live in a reality created by something we call mind, the infinite energy of life itself. And it creates reality that we have been so mesmerized by, we got convinced it was true and real. I just want to kind of explore the infinite nature, and hopefully by seeing this, hopefully we can start to try to feel into it and start to feel a sense of the fact that limitation is an illusion. And I want to try and keep it really, really simple. I love evidence. I love evidence of God. I love it when I stumble across evidence of God, where I can go, look at that. How miraculous is that? How wonderful. How intelligent. How clever. How perfect. I love it when evidence becomes apparent. That's why I love nature. Anybody who knows me knows I've personally gained and most of my insight into what we call the principles or life itself from nature, through observing nature, trees and other beings, who create reality, every other being that creates reality. One of the things, as Alan Watts was speaking, that became really apparent was, to see this infinite, we only really have to look at our senses. How much have we seen today? How many things have we observed? How different do things look today compared to yesterday? Physically, the weather's different in the Cumbria, thank God.
Better rain tomorrow.
Is it? Oh, brilliant. That's just starting to dry out. You know, you can look around your room now, wherever you sat or wherever you stood, and you'll see things. And then you can look closer and you'll see other things. And you can look and you can see more things. And you look deeper and you see even more. And you look again and you'll see more things. And you go, oh wow, I hadn't noticed that bit of grain in the wood there, or that bit of dust on the top of there, or coffee ring. I hadn't noticed that. Oh, I hadn't noticed that in that picture. I noticed that on the ceiling. And you can look again. And the more you look, the more you see. In this world, there are infinite things coming and going. You are never going to run out of new things to observe in this life, ever. New things to discover. Just with the sense of sight. Let's move on to the sense of taste. All the wonderful opportunities to taste so many different experiences. Is there an end to what we can taste? Will we finally run out of tastes? New flavors? Have we discovered all of them? No, of course not. With our sense of taste, we have infinite experience to be played with. Hearing. Sense of hearing. Will we ever run out of our capacity to hear something different? A new voice, a new sound. There was a beautiful, I don't know if you heard this in the thing last night. One of our friends who's an operatic singer was singing, and she said this piece, and she spoke, it was a poem from a Cumbrian poet who was speaking, was it Scottish? No, it was Scottish because she called it the Burn. And she spoke about how the Burn, where she was sat, was singing, was it umpteen notes all at the same time? Did you hear that?
I was getting drawn on at the back.
Oh, yeah. The Burn was singing umpteen notes all at the same time. Hey, up, down. Hi, Rich. Hi, Div. Oh, you can listen to a beck, a brook, a river, a stream, whatever, and you can hear all these different notes in it if you listen. Or you can recognize people from their voices. Your dog from its bark. Your child from its cry. Or you hear all these different musical textures. The wind sounds different each time. Will we ever run out of capacity to experience different sounds? I don't think so. Texture, touch. Will we run out of textures? Of course not. Pebbles you pick up on the beach, the sand on the beach, the water, the wind, the feel of the wind against your skin. Fabrics, woods. Will we ever run out of the experience of what we can feel? Will we ever run out of potentials? No. Smell. Will we ever run out of smells? No, there's infinite smells to be experienced here on Earth. So every single one of our sensory perceptions has infinite capacity. We're not limited. This world is not limited. This world is abundant with everything we could ever need. We play the game of limitation, but it's a limitation that we create. We live in a quantum reality where things are born from nothing. where matter appears from nowhere, where thoughts originate as nothing and are given birth to via our self, which is at its core no thing. Nothing. Emptiness. But inside of ourself is the capacity to create infinite experience. We've never been limited once. The limitation never once actually existed. We've never not been good enough. Once. Never once. Not once. Were we ever not good enough? That's a belief. Beliefs can change. Truth can't. Truth is infinite. No beginning, no end. Every possibility. It's dreamt into being. Our realities are dreamt into being. I hope that just bringing that to people's attention can help them realize that this truly is an infinite experience. Even just by looking at and quantifying and rationalizing our sensory experience. If there's any arguments, please speak up. Because on this, we're always trying to point towards truth. And who was it last week said, in the interest, oh, she's not here, in the interest of what did I say? I said about, if I speak an untruth, if Jenny or I speak an untruth, please tell us, question us. What do you mean by that? Or you're speaking crap. We don't mind being pulled up. But we hope that people can start to really gain a respect for who and what they truly are and what life actually is. Like Sid said in the video that I watched before I woke up, what I discovered is life is a psychological experience. You think it's real. It's not real. You just think it's real. It can change like that. And what looked real suddenly doesn't. The whole world can change in front of your eyes, but nothing changed. It makes no sense until you've experienced it. Insight. You change, other people change. But nothing changed. Not outside. Do you want to say anything to that? No, we didn't discuss that before I came on. Or we came on.
Didn't speak, do we?
No.
Oh, really? Hello.
Hello. Nice to see you. You all right?
No, I feel like listening actually is like spaced me out a bit.
Was it?
Yeah, I think when you start getting a sense of the vastness of what this is pointing to, it kind of
Mm.
it can silence you a bit because everything else sort of becomes noise.
I said to my dad this week, I love entomology.
With that,
It's the study of insects. What I meant was etymology, which is the study of words. Right, what, you love studying insects? I know you do, son. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't mean insects, I mean words. That's not entomology. Entomology is the study of insects. No, it's words. He jumps out the van, runs into this house. Get my phone out. No, he's right. It's etymology. Nothing. The word nothing. No thing. Nothing. Nothing. But no thing and everything can be the same thing. So from the nothingness that we are is the everything that is. Both are real. Excuse me. There's another one of my favorite talks is a man named Dr. Bruce Grayson.
I never mentioned him before.
I've never mentioned Dr. Bruce Grayson. I love Dr. Bruce Grayson. He's an awesome man. He's a scientist and he studies near death. And he has interviewed thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of near death experiences. And he's met kids who know everything about aeroplanes. How do you know everything about the airplanes? I used to fly them. But you're 4 years old. Yeah, but I wasn't. I wasn't before I was shot down. And this kid would talk about who he flew with and the aircraft carrier he took off from. He knew where he crashed. And the only reason they started to know about this was because the kids started having night terrors at 2 or 3, was it?
Pre-language, so yeah, but
Yeah.
1.5, 2.
He started saying, little man can't get out, little man can't get out. And he was having night terrors. But he knew he had a sister and he knew his sister's name from his previous life. And he knew his comrade who used to fly with him. And it turned out his sister was still alive. She was in her 90s. So Bruce took this little kid to meet his last life sister. And Bruce said when they met, it was like two old friends who just come back together again. She said, and he said that she walked around the house going, that's me in that photo, that's me, that's mine, and that's mine. And his sister, this old lady who looked more like his great great grandmother now, was going, yeah, he's right. Bruce is a man who he says, science isn't interested in my field of science. He said, but all this science is available to people. It's here. It's here for whenever anybody's ready to pick it up. But one of the things I heard him say in one of these talks was the West's problem, the predominant thing that he found that more people remember previous lives from cultures where it's accepted that you live beyond this life. Reincarnation. So you're talking Eastern philosophies, Eastern cultures, Western cultures done away. Jesus used to speak about reincarnation. But in our culture, we've very much said, no, there's no such thing. There's no scientific proof, therefore it must be the end. There is no scientific proof of that there is no life after death. You cannot possibly have scientific proof that there doesn't exist. How could you quantify there is no life after death? You can assume, you can believe. But with the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people each year that experience it, Bruce was somebody who picked it up and went, let's have a look at this. I'm interested. But in one of his talks, he speaks about how it's predominantly what he discovered is because it's more kind of Eastern centric is this discovery of this kind of remembrance of reincarnation. He said it's not that the kids from the West don't remember or people from the West don't remember. He said, but it's very quickly shut down. Oh, haven't they got a fantastic imagination? Oh, what are you talking about? Stop talking about that. That never happened. And he's saying this that it's generally between the ages of learning to talk to the age of 5, where kids really start to kind of remember. And in the Eastern cultures, they're very much kind of allowed to express that, but in the Western, it's kind of like seen as vivid imagination. And the kid quickly picks up on that, and eventually it just disappears. We've noticed Lucia speak about things about she was on a crash in the A42. She said, I started nowhere. I was in a crash on the A42. Like,
The cat died.
and a cat died. That's right. A cat died. Yeah.
She asked me who was your mum the very first time that you came here? I said, oh, I don't know. Who was your mum the very first time you came here? And she went, can't remember now. Things like she just says random things, doesn't she? She also says totally out there, silly things like you never know with her if she's saying something totally profound.
Yeah.
Or she's
You
just
have to wait, don't you?
winding you up.
Yeah. But Bruce said it's a lot to do with the way we've been brought up in our culture. He said in our culture we've been brought up under like the philosophies of Aristotle. And Aristotle, he suggests that we need to prove something to be right or wrong, correct or incorrect, true or false. A binary, twofold system. A dualistic way of seeing the world. It's either true or it's false. It's either right or it's wrong. But he said, I forget the name. I keep getting Vajradhara in my head or something, but some Hindu philosophy, isn't it? Some Hindu.
Yeah, Vedanta. I think it's Vedanta or something. Then Mahima messaged it.
Did she? That the Eastern cultures grow up under a fourfold system. Something can be true and something can be false. Something can be neither true nor false, and something can be true and false at the same time. Something can be true, something can be false, something can be neither true nor false, and something can be true and false at the same time. And he said, and what that philosophy does is it does away with mysteries. It does away with so many of the mysteries. He said, because in our culture, we have all these things called mysteries. Because we don't embrace the spiritual, because we don't embrace the notion that reality isn't a solid thing, it's actually an energetic thing. It's not fixed, it's not solid, it's actually malleable. It's malleable by mind. It's malleable by the consciousness of all living things. It's intelligent. But because in our culture we've kind of grown up, and I'm sure when I speak about this, many people will they'll feel that, they've noticed the change within themselves where they've started that. I remember being that person. I remember being that man. I remember being that woman who kind of lived like that. And I don't think there's anybody on this screen here who hasn't had a discovery where they've kind of opened up and gone, oh, no, 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 there's more to life. There's more to life. This life isn't what I think it is, however it appears as I think. the fourfold system lines up beautifully with quantum physics. But this philosophy is like 5 or 6,000 years old or something. From a time before electron microscopes or particle projectors, particle cannons. Also, we're led to believe. Who knows? I don't really know anything anymore. Don't know, our mate went out to look at the pyramids, didn't he, in Egypt, and he's like, "No, those weren't made by slaves." Slaves did not move those bricks. Slaves did not cut those bricks. Some deep, phenomenal technology was used.
It's Vedanta.
Vedanta.
That means not to.
Oh yeah, Vedanta. It's not to you. Do you want to say that?
Honestly, if there's any question,
Yeah.
you said I'm just going to open up with this, and then I'm going to see if anyone wants to say anything.
Yeah. And we can totally change subject. Lise.
So, you said that you were raged pretty much all day yesterday.
Yeah.
So, were you like believing your thinking yesterday? Did it seem true? Or did you go, look, I know I'm believing my thinking, and I know there's a better bit of thinking to be had, but you couldn't kind of grasp it.
No.
Oh, no, what?
No, I didn't do any of that. No.
You just acted like a bit of a twat.
Sounds like a bit of a twat.
That
Yeah.
I'm depressed. It's really hard. I was like, we had a really great day yesterday, and you were thanking me and for being such a beautiful family. And then today,
Like shit.
everything's shit. You
Everything.
can't handle a 3-year-old. You just
Fucking
need.
weather.
I just want a quiet morning. I'm like, you've got a 3-year-old. You're not going to have a quiet morning. Get over it.
Yeah, no, none of that, Lise. I don't do that personally.
Don't do what? Don't know that there's better thinking to be had, or you just
I don't get involved in thinking. I'm not interested in thinking. I'm interested in life. Thinking is
yeah.
what life does. And I made peace. I made peace with life in 2013. I made peace with feeling in 2013. I made peace with thinking in 2013. I made peace with reality. I made peace when I accepted that I was human and that I am infinite, and that within that infinite is every array of possible experiences to be had. None of them correct, none of them incorrect. No
So
judgment.
you were like, sorry,
No
no
judgment.
judgment.
No judgment. Did I enjoy it? No, did I fuck? It was horrible. But no judgment. I'm not somebody who runs around trying to change, think there's something wrong with how I feel. It's a temporary experience. It comes and goes all by itself. I couldn't rationalize for the life of me why the hell I would have got why. And I have no reason why, no understanding why today I woke up and felt absolutely fine. I remember it, but I don't give a shit about it personally. And because I don't need to talk about it like as though it's a problem and I need to fix it. So I run out of things to fix.
You apologise to me for being a dick.
I apologize for being a dick. I can apologize for being a dick. So I've been a dick. And I was a dick. We can all be dicks. Where did this idea it's wrong to feel come from? Where's the idea that we need to fix it come from?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, 'cause I'm full of cold at the
Mm.
minute, so I knew my thinking was on like a lower level of consciousness because I feel shit, and missing concerts that I'm supposed to be singing in and stuff, and got quite raged. My thinking got quite raged, and everything was just fucking raged, and I was like, Lise, you just believe in your thinking. You can have better thoughts.
You
They're
can't.
there to.
But does that just
You
not make you
can't.
feel more raged? Like, I know that if
Yeah,
I'm
I
feeling,
felt more raged because I knew there was better thinking to be had,
But there
but
wasn't.
I couldn't.
But there wasn't, Lise.
me and you have had this conversation. There's times
Yeah.
with Lucia where she's just raged,
Yeah.
and you try and rationalise with her. I'm like, when you're feeling raged or pissed off, like, would someone trying to rationalize with you or tell you what's going on be helpful? And you're like, no.
No.
I'm like, but you're trying to do it with a 3-year-old that struggles to rationalize things anyway, doesn't really self-regulate properly yet, but you think somehow that's helpful. Like, and you're like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, but you can see that if I'm having a shitty experience, to then be like, oh, but I know there's better available, you're going to have more of a shitty experience.
You're gonna
It's actually in that moment the only thing available is what you're experiencing because
yeah.
that's what life's bringing to you. And it's like the moment you kind of are like, that's just what's coming to life now. That's just what's like you get present with whatever it is, and you're not thinking there's better. There's not a judgment in it. But to think, oh, there's better thinking along the line, you're putting your well-being into like this future better thinking, and you're creating like this dissatisfaction with where you are,
A deeper dissatisfaction.
rather than just being pissed off.
Deep, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like,
Mm.
I've been knocked to well last end of last week, and then the beginning of this week, just had all weird stuff going on. And Lucia woke up at 6 o'clock, and I was like, right, actually, I'm just going to get up with her today rather than trying to get her to play and me try and go back to bed. And then I went to forest school, and I just had the best time at forest school with her. Totally unexpected. I don't really like getting like you're better at forest school with her really, because I don't really like getting cold or wet or dirty. But I just had the best time with her. I still felt sick. I've still kind of got a bit of a headache and I feel like I'm fighting a cold, and I was surprised. I was like, cool. But I don't know. I think we create these ideas of like when I feel like this, like I've got a cold, then I'm going to be like this. Or
If I'm
this,
tired.
if I'm tired,
Yeah.
or this is going to happen, so I'm going to feel great or I'm going to feel shit. Like we're constantly moving out of the
Mm.
moment into time, creating the idea that there's something better or worse to be had, and then creating the idea that a physical sensation then creates mental discomfort or physical, like I don't know, I feel like we give it so much thought and attention, and in some ways with the principles conversation it can put more on people's mind
Well,
if
that's
they
the
start
principled thing to say, that, isn't it?
trying to
There's better thinking to be had.
which is always,
Mm.
it is true that there's infinite thought to be had, but in that
Mm.
moment that's what life's bringing to
Yeah.
you.
So that's all there is.
And if we start making it like there's somewhere to get to, I need to see deeper, I need to see more, I need to have a better thought, we're getting lost in the content. And Sid's whole message was like, no, we're not interested in the content. Let's look at the power. Like, how is life coming into being? Whether it's a wonderful experience or a shitty experience. Like, what's going on? Where does that come from? Who are we if we're not that? But I feel like it's almost like a question to be posed, not to be answered, to just go and live. And as we live, the answer finds you more and more. But if we make it an
Mm.
intellectual kind of like, oh, I know there's something better.
This is what I need
Do
to
you
do.
see what I mean? We get lost in the intellect again. We get lost in
Oh,
content,
Yeah.
and that's more frustrating. Like
Yeah, I
sometimes
got.
have
Mm,
shitty days or moments. And
Well,
sometimes
aren't
you'll be
you?
like, oh, it's been the worst day. I'm like, you were sat in tears at the beauty of Elle singing for like an hour and a half. Like you enjoyed that.
That was
You
beautiful.
actually then had a beautiful night because we had friends round.
All right, I'm dramatic.
And once I took Lucia away, so you didn't have like the high pitched squeal, you had a beautiful, and you were showing your silver and getting conversations. But at the end of the night, it's like, oh, it's been such a shit day. And I'm like, really? Are we going back to that? You've like, there's moments. And I do exactly the same. And I know I do. But it's like there's a lightness and a when Dave says I feel depressed, I don't think, oh my God, Dave's feeling depressed. Oh God, what's wrong? What's happening? Is it something to do with me? Is it our relationship? Is it our life? Is something going on that he's not like all the things I used to think pre-principles. I'm like, oh wow, that's funny. We had such a great day yesterday. And
Mm.
he's so grateful for life. And today he's got this
He'll be
day
right tomorrow.
or
Yeah,
whenever.
yeah.
But I think it's that it's not terminal. It's just
yeah.
momentary.
It's all momentary.
And
Why
some
would
of
you
it
take it so seriously?
and some of it doesn't feel nice. Like Lucia with you
Mm,
often will do things where she'll be like, tickle me, you tickle it. She goes, no, stop, I don't like it. And then she'll want you to do it again, like, or chase her. Like she
Yeah.
wanted me to chase her today, but then she'll get absolutely terrified and not want me to pretend to be a dinosaur or whatever. And then she'll want me to do it again. Like, so even in the play of child, like being a child, they're trying to create different feeling states and experiences. And some of them are terrifying, and some of them are exciting, and some of them are scary. And but there's no seriousness in any of that. But as we get older, we take it all so seriously.
mm.
I think one of the things that I discovered in 2013 was that I was spiritually safe, psychologically, spiritually safe. It's, it doesn't hurt you. You don't get damaged. But I had lived like that, Lise, where I feel like this, I need to fix it. There's something seriously wrong. I spent years trying to fix myself, love. Years. Trying my absolute best to heal myself, to fix myself, to try and be a better person. I didn't know I was already perfect. I just believed that I believed in the limitation. I believed in the limitation of my own beliefs. I was,
Lived in the limiter.
well, if you believe there's something wrong with a feeling, every time you feel it, you're going to get a deeper sense of there being something wrong. Like Jesus said, it's done unto you as you believe. Very simple statement, a frigging awesome statement. It's such a wonderful gift to the planet with the words, it's done unto you as you believe. What a gift. Why the fuck did I not hear that in church? I'll tell you why I didn't hear it in church. Because it puts the power wholly back into the individual, into the spiritual being that does the believing. It brings the power right back to the self, as opposed to some frigging religious system that demands that you pay money every single Sunday because God's going skin. It's done unto you as you believe. As you believe is what you see in the world. You see what you believe in the world. Okay, if you drive around now and you see the cross of St. George, the English flag, right? Somebody very close to me said, I can't stand all these flags. I said, why not? He was like, it's racist. I said, I'm an Englishman. That represents the country that I come from, does the cross of St. George. I'm not racist. It's not a racist symbol at all, but people believe it's a racist symbol. So they drive around, they see the cross of St. George, and they go, oh, racist, racist with that flag up, or racist with that car. Like, no, it's a thing. It has no power. It's a symbol. It has no actual power. It doesn't give off emotion. It doesn't create beliefs. It's a red couple of red lines on a white background. It means nothing. It only means what you believe it to mean to you. So it's done unto us as we believe. That's why everybody on earth sees a different reality. It's done unto you as you believe. So if you believe that there's something wrong with feelings, what are you going to experience? Every time you naturally, as a human being, you're endowed with the capacity to, let's go back to the infinite thing again. You have infinite experience within you. You have infinite capacity for creation of reality within you. You're doing it right now. You are creating an experience right now from yourself. You always have been. We all always have been creating an experience from within. The only thing we ever get to experience is ourself. You don't get to experience anything outside of yourself. There is only yourself you ever get to experience. But yourself isn't what you think it is. You cannot know it. Yourself is a vastness of nothing. No thing. That gives birth to an experience, and suddenly it forms an identity because it has something to hold on to. And then we go, oh, that I am that I experience. Well, no, that's secondary. What you experience is secondary to yourself. My experience, mine, my pen, my watch, my jumper, mine, ownership. This is not me. I know it's not me. That's why I say mine. I know this pen isn't me. That's why I say it's mine. I know this watch isn't me. That's why I say it's mine. My experience, my own, mine. My thoughts, my feelings, mine. Creation, too late, secondary, owned. Mine is ownership. However, what's the me bit? What's the bit that identifies as me? Well, me. Yeah, what's that? Is it the past? Doesn't exist. Is it your story that you want to bring up and identify with? Oh, I'm such and such, I'm educated at such and such, I do this for a living. That's all in the past. The past doesn't exist, so that can't be who you are. You are the now. You are the now. We're all the now. So what is that? What is the now? Well, the now is the moment of creation. The now is where the infinite takes form into reality. That appears finite, but isn't. It's finite in the now, but it's totally open to change. And change only takes place in the now. Change can only take place in the now because it's all that exists. So if change is taking place, who are we? If we are a constant state of change, who really are we? What are we? Well, let's look at what we're not. We're not what we think because it's my thinking. Mine, ownership. We're not what we feel because it's my feelings, mine, ownership. We're not what I've done. I'm not what I have done. That's what I've done. That was my behavior, mine, ownership. I'm not that. I'm not a past. That's not me. The past doesn't exist, so how can I be the past? I'm not the past. I'm not what I'm going to do in the future because the future doesn't exist. That's an illusion of thought too. I'm not a rajed individual. I'm also not a content individual. I'm also not that individual or this individual. I can appear as anything. But that's the thing we've got stuck on. We've got stuck on what we appear as, like an ocean, forgetting it's an ocean and identifying with its wave pattern. That's what thinking is the wave pattern. Forget the thinking. I'm fed up with the word thinking. I hate it because I hear it all the time. And it's like, no, as long as you are mesmerized by your thinking, you are going to be studying form. You will never discover the spiritual in the form. You've got to go before the form. You have to sit in the silence of nothing. You can't think your way to it. It's like an ocean looking for itself in the waves. That it created, that it made out of itself.
I,
And
I guess I
identifying.
was looking for I guess I was looking for myself in the waves.
And that's all you really have until you get quiet.
But I can't remember if it was Sid or Michael Neal that said, you're only one thought away from um, a better thought.
Well, it's true.
And
That was Sid. Yeah, it's true. Of course,
yeah, so
a better feeling. Yeah.
better feeling. So I was stuck in this, you know, Raji, Raji, can't even remember what it was, can't even remember what it was about. But um, so yeah, I guess I was like,
Can everybody just,
this.
those that can you put your cameras on 1 minute?
Stop recording.
No,
Oh. No, just
because
some people can't turn it on because of recording.
no, but it's only on speaker view, so it will only be on speaker view because it'll just be Jenny and myself. That's Sean
And Lise, if she thinks.
and Lisa, or whoever
Yeah, if
speaks.
you mute yourself, Lise, you won't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Lisa
if
can
you
stay
don't
on.
mind.
It's
I
cool.
don't mind.
No, Lisa's already been on a few times. But just out of interest, is there anybody here who doesn't feel like shit sometimes? All right, let's put a hands up thing. Do people here feels like shit sometimes? Right, that's every single screen. Yeah, every single screen. So
It's good to
really,
know.
what we're trying to fix is something that is inherent within all people. We're not on our own. It's not like you're doing life wrong. Is there anybody here who doesn't get angry? No, no hands have gone up. Is there anybody here who think of another thing quick. Doesn't feel anxious sometimes?
Why would you say that? Look at me. Why did anxious come to you?
Doesn't feel horny? That better.
Mhm.
No hands went up, see? Yeah, every single one of us is endowed with the capacity to feel all of it. We were never broken, we were meant to. We were meant to.
I'm just going to plug this phone in.
Yeah. Thanks for that, you lot. Thanks for coming on screen.
There we go. Yeah, I guess I just need to get a bit more it'll change. Be
Yeah,
Raj.
that's another belief.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
There'll be no peace to be found in that because when you're not, you'll be like, oh God, I should be being more meh. You see how it works? There's no peace to be found in beliefs. Daniel-san. No, hang on. Well done.
Yeah.
No, carry on. Get your mouth full.
No, I know what you like.
Oh, sorry.
As soon as I started rummaging, I thought, do you know what's going to happen here? Anyway, um, what was I going to say?
Sorry, dude.
The, I was just going to say the longer that you think about a thought as a bad one, the longer it stays with you. That's the way that like, for example, it's every time this time of the year, I always get like a little bit of like ugh, because it's like there's no like hardly any sun. Everything's just grim and grotty and stuff like that. And this year, genuinely, I think I've been I've had about 3 weeks of just feeling like crap. But like now I'm all right. And it's genuinely because every single wave that's occurred, I've just let it happen. I haven't sort of been like fighting it. I haven't sort of thought, oh, why is this happening to me? Like there was one I can remember one night where I was just like, fuck's sake, will you just fuck off? But then at the same time, I was like, why? Like there's nothing wrong. And I said to my mum the next day, I was just like, I was sat there, right, so angry. But I thought, look, it's fine. Like we've done this before. Like we've been here, and I was talking about we as if I was like two different people. But yeah, it's the longer that I think the longer that you sort of sit there and like if you're having a bad day and you think I'm having a bad day, like you're just gonna have a bad day. Like I feel like that if you say, right, I'm having a bad day, let's just crack on, and it's not as bad. Because I used to love it. I used to love sitting in self-pity. I used to love sitting there and thinking, why is this happening to me? And how am I going to be able to get out of this? And no, no, no. Well, like the longer you sit there and just think, oh, I'm having a shit day or a raggy day, I just crack on and now. And you just like it took me about 3 weeks this time round to sort of pull myself out of it, where usually it's 3 or 4 months. And I think it looking at it from a different perspective of like every single tiny little thing that I've like experienced the past 3 weeks, whether if it's like anxious thoughts or intrusive thoughts, or if it's just feeling generally shitty, when you put a meaning to it, like I used to, it used to very much be like every day was a raggy day, like every single day. But like today, like I've been a bit stressed today, but it hasn't sort of hasn't penetrated the layer as such. Like it hasn't sort of like gone into for it to spiral into a massive thing. Um, yeah, I think I've just it's sort of like I've learned to when you're feeling like shit, like you just have to accept the fact you're feeling like shit. So
You have
and
two
just
choices there, don't you?
yeah, because I think you have to. I think the longer that you sit there and think, oh, I feel like shit, I like it's you just have to get up. It's awful. Like I hate the fact that I have to get up when I'm feeling like shit. You like have to. You just have to. Like it just it helps with the I don't know. It just helps. I think. I just think now like if you have a raggy day, get up. Unless you physically if you've got the cold if you've got a flu, fair enough, stay in bed.
I like the
But
way you
like
change that from a cold
yeah.
to flu. Yeah.
Um
I mean, like, you're full on dying.
yeah.
Get up.
Um yeah, that's it. I don't know. I was just when you
It's
were
true, though,
talking
Dan.
about like
It's true.
sitting, yeah.
You know, you said it. You said it. The more attention I give it, the bigger it becomes. Of course. You create with your attention. We create with our attention. You know, it, it's like right now, Dan, I forget which one's number one and number two now. Dan Kane. Dan's number one, number two. Dan number one. Dan number one probably hasn't got that much awareness of the little light pattern behind him cast by the shadows of the plants on the wall. But and so it doesn't exist for Dan until he turns around and gives it some attention. And then when attention is given, it becomes part of the experience. And like, oh, there you go. Here it is. See, and you can't have an experience without attention. You cannot have experience without consciousness. And you have the gift to focus your attention wherever you wish. That is where free will really lies in my mind. It's not in what you think, because I can't stop thoughts coming into my mind. Thoughts come into my mind. Mental thoughts come into my mind. All kinds of random weird shit comes into my mind. But it's the attention. It's the attention part. Do I entertain it and believe it and feed it? because the amount more attention I give something, the greater it becomes. The more important it starts to appear. I am somebody who goes through hobbies left, right, and centre, aren't I? Drive you mad. 1 minute I love making jewelry, the next minute I'm felting little animals, and the next minute I've stopped felting little animals.
I know.
Vinyl printing, yeah, and then
I wouldn't mind actually. I had this conversation with someone the other day who was she made loads of felted animals. And I said, "Oh, my husband used to love doing that, but he flits between hobbies." And she said, "Oh yeah, but he'll find one thing." I'm like, "Well, I wouldn't actually mind that because the fact that you get so into it that you have to get every single thing to do with it."
yeah,
So we have like a massive box or boxes of stuff to do with
Yeah.
each hobby, and all you can think about is that hobby,
Yeah.
and you get magazines and you watch things and you're obsessed with it.
I master it and move.
And then we don't even necessarily master it.
do.
You just somehow,
Master
it's a
it.
bit like Lucia with the doll. You're like, how did she suddenly not be obsessed with that doll? It's just like phased out. The penny whistle.
Anyway,
It was like 3 or 4 months of penny whistle every morning, and then you listening to tutorials on penny whistles, and then
mastered it.
searching charity shops for good penny whistles.
Mastered it.
You know, I think I'm going to stick at this. I think I'm going to get really good at this.
I like mastering shit. I'm a master of everything now, aren't
Yeah.
I? Yeah. But as long as it's got my attention, I'm experiencing it. I'm enjoying it. But the beautiful thing is, people can go, "Oh my God, Dave's got ADHD. He can't, you know." No, I enjoy the variety of life. I get to come here and I get to have a vast experience. Why would I want to confine my life down to a certain little fraction? This is what I want. Do you know what I mean? It's not for everybody. This is my life. And I like to experience all kinds of things. I enjoy the fact that I get to really enjoy doing the felting of the animals and making little wrens and stuff
How
like
much
that.
you enjoy it in the moment, you want to kill things if it doesn't go right.
I know, yeah, I've thrown the odd one about, haven't I? But
You hate certain ones and then feel guilty the next day.
I know I've looked at pictures the next day and I've actually gone, "I'm so sorry," to it, like, because it was actually really good. Is there any?
Or making mirrors with wood and cutting things out
Yeah,
and lamps. You got obsessed with that.
I haven't got anything in it, have I?
No. Your lino printing.
Yeah,
And
that's
belting.
not, yeah, any of it. But yeah, where you put your attention is where you get an experience. And if you put your attention on thinking, what are you going to have an experience of? If you, what is it? It says in the Book of Thomas, if you look for something where it isn't, you're not going to find it. Dead simple. If you look for something where it isn't, you're not going to find it. If you're looking for your well-being and your mental health in your thinking, your spiritual essence, your true nature in your thinking, you're not going to find it. You've got to start putting your attention somewhere else. You've got to start opening up and understand you don't know where to actually look. What does inside actually mean? This is a deeply humbling journey, is this journey of self-discovery, because the more you discover, the more you know you're not absolutely fuck all.
I think it's Keith Blevins from Moby Dick and Bettinger, I can't remember, saying that before he came across the principles, he kind of likened what he did with people to somebody losing their car keys, and he'd bump into them and they're like searching. So you start searching with them around this area, and you're searching for the keys. It's dark. You've only just got this one spotlight, street light,
Yeah.
sorry. And then he said, coming across the principles, he said it's like you suddenly, within this example, you'd say, "Where did you lose the keys?" And the person would actually say to you, "Oh, over there." It's like, "But why are you looking here?" It's like, "Because that's where the light is." And I think you started to see, well, without it looks like thinking is the place to look, because within thinking is where we seem to experience the suffering or the problem. So then we start looking there because that's where the thinking is. But coming across the principles is like saying, yeah, but actually, where does this come from? Where are we going to look? And then you look towards the principles rather than in your thinking where you know there aren't any answers there. You've never found the answers to what you're looking for within the content of your thinking in that moment. It's always going to come from something fresh and new. And it doesn't come from the intellect. I
No.
think I've done that really bad. The way they explain The way they explained it was better, actually.
That was miles better, but I still liked what you said.
But I remember just hearing that and thinking, God, how often do we do that? Like even with physical things, like I've lost something before and I keep going back to the same place to look for it because that's where I'm sure I left it. And I'm convinced someone's moved it. And then it's not till I actually find it that you suddenly remember the extra bit of, oh yeah, but then you moved it. But the insanity of going back to the same place over and over again, even though you know that thing is not there. And we do it with our own mind. Like, I know this isn't going to be helpful for me, but then we do it over and over and over again. And at some point, I feel like after coming across the principles, like I stopped doing that. Definitely as much anyway.
Did you?
No, like looking for the reason, looking for
Oh yeah,
like you know what
looking for the excuse.
yeah. And like I was thinking with the attention thing, since having Lucia, I've been a happier human being. And I could then think it's because I always wanted to have a baby and I've had Lucia. But what I realised is like she is such a huge character. Like there isn't much room for me to think about myself. She like wakes up and starts talking between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. And it's like even the other day when I was like, actually, I'm really not feeling well, and my friend said to me, I think you can't get a doctor's appointment, go to the urgent treatment centre and just get checked. So I said it to Lucy, I'm going to have to go to the hospital, then we'll go to the park. And she's like, yeah, no, I think we'll go to the park and then you can go to the hospital later. Because the world does in her mind revolve around her.
Who's the boss?
Oh yeah, I think I said that last week. I asked her, well, you brought a thing saying Daddy's the boss. Then she didn't laugh, and I said, well, do you know what boss means? And she didn't. So then we both explained to her what a boss was. And then I said to her, well, who do you think the boss is? And she just went, me. Pretty much sums it up. But I can see like I have less time to think about myself since having Lucia. She's an all-encompassing little being. But my levels of well-being and happiness have gone up because I'm not focused on myself and my thinking and how I'm doing. And I think that could be anything. But it's not like then a technique because I know people that have had children and then actually the whole situation has then become about them and how exhausted they are and what life used to be like and how difficult the child is. So we can make anything about us.
But you've also come back to the magic, haven't you? Like, and every day you'll tell me something that
Yeah.
Lucia's kind of spoken, or she said this today, or like said that, or did this, and you're like,
But when you were talking about the infinite, like walking around with her, she's
Yeah.
still like blown away by the magic of life. This fungus, this piece of grass, this whatever, that shape looks like that. And
remember Otis in the garden?
oh yeah, he nearly fell over backwards when a bird flew over. And
Yeah.
it's before he had language.
It
I
was
like,
just,
whoa.
you could see him, he's going, and this bird was flying towards us, coming above us, and it flew over it. He watched it, and he nearly fell over backwards watching it, and he was like, wasn't he?
And I think that's the nice thing
You
about
said that, didn't you? You said, did you see him? It was like, yeah. And to us, it was like a bird flying over.
it's a pigeon, I think.
It's a pigeon,
Yeah,
yeah.
a pigeon. See pigeons all the
Pigeon,
time.
it's pigeon. But that was us experiencing our concepts. He wasn't experiencing a concept. He was experiencing a being that could travel through the air at great speed. And he didn't see it as normal, did he? He saw it as miraculous and something to be in awe of. Which, if you think about it logically, who's closer to the truth? Us with our idea that this is just some frigging, yeah, whatever, it's just a pigeon, or really is the pigeon flying an absolute miracle of physicality, of reality? You know, I feel that's why Jesus said to enter the kingdom, you must become like the child. What's a child like? It's full of awe. It's full of awe for life. It's not trying to fix itself. It's not judging itself for having a fucking meltdown. It sees the magic in everything. It picks up a stick and goes, here, this is a special stick. Here you go, Daddy. Here's a bundle of leaves, Daddy. Yeah, Daddy, I've got your present. There's a feather, an acorn. And it's like they are just so present with everything in nature. They see the magic in all of it. The magic's there. It's there for us to see, but we've just believed that we know something. We've condensed our lives into the conditioning of our what's the word, concepts, our ideas, our beliefs. That's why we have to go and start again. It gets to a point in life where you kind of reach this kind of brick wall in life and you go, fuck me, I can't deal with life anymore. This is shit. This is just unbelievable. I'm done. Which is why many people come to these kind of conversations. I can't carry on like this. This is, wow. And then at some point, there's this kind of this thing happens where an individual just sits there, stands there, sits there, whatever, and some out of the ordinary experience takes place, and it's magnificent. And for a moment, they get to see the world or themselves. They get to see it without the judgment, without the conditioning of the ideas and the concepts. They get to see beyond the ego, beyond the intellect. It's always there, but they get to notice it. And the moment they notice it, that individual's life will never be the same because they've returned to the life like a child where they discovered, wow, this whole thing is a miracle. This whole thing is magical. Look at this world we get to walk on. Look at my most wonderful body. I get to create reality. I get to come here. I am a spiritual being of infinite proportion. They get to rediscover who and what they actually are. And then those individuals generally take life a little bit less seriously. They start to take life less seriously. And as they start to take life less seriously, they start to have a nicer life, tend to laugh more, they're still human, they feel, and when they feel like shit, there's like a big fucking deal. I feel like shit, I'm really depressed today. And it passes. Are you going? Love you, love. Keep safe. Everything's dangerous out there, love. Yeah. Love you. Crystal's in Australia.
Melbourne, isn't she? No.
It's Australia, love.
Oh no, I was just
Oh.
trying to think about time difference.
Don't know.
Dave, are you in Sydney?
We got two.
Hello. Hi.
Are you in Sydney?
Yeah, it's 7:23 a.m. here. Yep,
That'd be
Sydney.
the same in Melbourne.
Same. Yeah.
Cool. I like the fact you're in bed.
I shouldn't be. This is now 7:23, not the usual 5:23.
Yeah, Dave. You've
But it's
usually done
okay.
3 hours by now.
Sorry?
You've usually done 3 hours by now.
Yeah, no, because if the time difference is in your summer, it would be 5:23 right now here. That would be a little bit more, what do you call it? Not shocking, but oh, that's early. 7:23 is, it's like, there'll be things done by now. So,
Mm.
but the beautiful thing is lying here and just listening, no judgment, 7:23 or 5:23. The listening is beautiful and hopefully, and nothing hopefully, it's just wonderful. Thanks.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
I love coming here. I always get into a tale. Oh, sorry, am I speaking too much for somebody else's?
No, please. You always get into a tale.
Yeah, I've been following. There are many things which are coming to mind from what you said, and some clarifications. As you know, like when Jenny, you said, was it you, Dave? Attention, we have free will. And one of the things in all these Sydney Banks milieus I enter, which is I love going for just because I love going, simple, to listen, whether it's Christine or anyone else, Heath and whatever. And the attention, free will, I was like, yeah, okay, Dave, you're always putting your attention on the negative, on the future, on the what ifs, on the catastrophizing. It's becoming a thing now. And then there'd be that rationalizing thought, the thinking, which would say, yeah, you got free will, move somewhere else or think and I find it impossible. And today you said something which just struck a little bit, which is, oh, thoughts are going to come, but like thoughts are thoughts. Then you can't choose, I'll have a better one then, or I'll have a better one. I had a good one in the past, and let me recreate that for today. But the attention, I'm still in the fuzzy state, and it's okay but it's the attention to the what ifs, which is creating a shitty experience. and then and trying to link it up. So just have the experience, but spiritually well you are. Something like that.
Always.
Again, my mind got into overdrive because I was trying to think when I was listening to you, the feeling was clarity. I don't know how to describe it. It was a clarifying feeling. And I didn't label it, oh, this is clear. It was just, but I didn't go into it because I was still continuing listening to you. But then after you'd finished, and let's say when you said, when you put your screens on so you can say, are you angry or are you not angry? Do you get angry or something? I switched to personal thinking. Let me regroup with what Dave and Jenny say. Let me notch it down in my head. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
And then you know what followed next? The personal thought was, you've got this issue, you've got that financial stuff to handle, you've got that, you've got your cousins. Every person, it's sort of like the door opened a little bit and a whole bevy of fucks came in with it. You know, so yeah. But it's good to notice it and still be here listening in that underlying clarifying feeling I talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bevy of fucks yesterday. Yeah.
Getting a bit much for me though.
But the bevy of fucks, right? The bevy of fucks. Could you possibly comprehend the idea of the bevy of fucks without the massive story about the bevy of fucks? Without all the judgment, what are you left with? If you were to remove all the judgment from all the thoughts you dislike, if you suddenly stopped disliking and being nasty to all the thoughts you don't like,
Yeah.
what would you be left with?
An uncomfortable feeling. Why I'm saying that is it'll feel unresolved in my head. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I better sort that out in my head. I better do this.
Interesting, isn't it? Because the thing
Yeah.
we're trying to resolve, is an idea.
Yes. Which hasn't happened yet.
We're trying to resolve ideas. And the thing is, once one idea is resolved, the mind dreams up another one. Then it dreams up another one, dreams up another one, dreams up another one, dreams up another. And before long, we start identifying with the idea that there's something wrong with us, I need to fix this, there's something wrong. But there isn't actually anything wrong. What if there isn't actually anything wrong? What if it's what the mind does? But where we place our attention, we have to have an experience. Try and have an experience of something that you don't play. In fact, everybody try it right here, right now. Try and have an experience of something you're not putting your attention on.
Not possible.
Not possible. Not possible. It's impossible to have an experience you're not giving attention to. Impossible. So therefore, your experience of life and your attention have to go hand in hand. They have to be inseparable. They have to be the same thing. Okay, so let's just narrow this back. Let's try and simplify all this life. Lisa likes to talk about thinking, right? Let's talk about thinking. Well, thinking is infinite. It has no beginning and it has no end. It's going to continue like waves on an ocean forever. We can look at that and drive ourselves fucking mental and never get to the end of our life, and all we've ever done is study our thinking. Or we can go simple. So let's try and get this really, really simple. So we've discovered it's impossible to have an experience of something that you are not giving attention to. And that can be a sensory experience, any of your senses. It can be a felt experience. It can be a thinky experience. It requires your attention in order for you to notice it to become part of your experience. You have to notice it. And the only way you can notice anything is if you become aware of it. Awareness and experience are the same thing, and the experience is created from awareness. Okay. Now, just out of interest, I just want people to try something. Okay. I want you to look at something in your room. Look at it. Anything. I want you to really look at it. Look at it hard. Okay, the more you look at it, the more vivid it becomes. The more at the everything else kind of pales away, becomes less vivid. You get this object in your sight, and the more you observe it, the more attention you give it, the more kind of fundamental it starts to look. The more kind of attention you give it, the more it is the only thing you really start to experience. And that's because you're giving it attention. Okay, shift your attention now. Shift it. Choose something else. Okay, you've just shifted your attention at will, by the way. Every single person who's done this, you just shifted your attention at will. You have control of your attention, not over your thoughts. Thoughts are going to come in. They're just going to fucking ramble on a lot of the time, right? Get over it. Get over it. Yes, sometimes these thoughts are going to be talking shit to you. Big fucking deal. Then what? You got bullied by your own thoughts. Get over it. They're your thoughts. You're bullying yourself. Get over it. You can deal with it. All right? You can deal with you bullying yourself. Get over it. All right? But what you don't have control over the thoughts that come into your head. Okay? Not consciously. But you do have the gift of attention. You are the one that decides whether or not to jump on that train and to feed it. You can pull yourself back. I'm not doing that today. Not today. Anyway, what else could I do? Right? Our free will in my mind it's not black or white. It's not Aristotle's yes or no. This is me kind of breaking it down into it's a quantum thing. Okay, it's true and it's false. It's neither true nor false, and it's true and false all at the same time. Okay, but I just want people to get a feel for something. Okay, where you put your attention is where you're going to get an experience. And where you put your attention is where you think. So you could look at something in a room, just study a thing in the room, and I just want you to let your mind think about it. So you pick an object in the room and look at it, and I want you to allow your mind to think about it. Okay, there you go. So where you've put your attention, you've allowed it to, your mind has started to tell you information about what you're observing. Isn't that fucking amazing? Right? Isn't that amazing? I met a man once who was at a stone circle, and he said, I said, my mum said, "What have you learned?" And he said, "What do you say?" He said, "The more you look at something, the more you will learn." Where does the learning take place? Does it take place outside of you? Does it take place inside you? Your learning comes from inside of you. Nobody ever taught you anything in your entire life. You learn everything from inside. Nothing comes from the outside. Everything comes from the inside. Every single thing you learned, every single word in French, German, whatever, in English, you learned it from inside yourself. You heard other people do it and you figured out how to do it. All learning comes from inside because there is only coming from the inside, because you are an infinite being. You are beyond comprehension. But where you put your attention, if you look at something, you'll start to think. I'm looking at a radio now, and I remember my mum getting me one of those for Christmas one year. And I'm looking at something that's on top of it. It's a little flower of life symbol. And I remember I got that flower of life symbol because there was a time when Jen and I had a little house rented when we were giving birth to Lucia, and I wanted a flower of life symbol. And the only way I could get one was if I bought some joss sticks, these incense cones, sorry. And I bought these incense cones, and I fell in love with them, and I burn those incense cones to this day. You know, and I can look at that, and my mind brings me that kind of information. Oh, yeah, remember I got that from. Why? Because I put my attention on it. Before I put my attention on it, I had no experience. I didn't even know it was there, to be honest. I had no experience of it. So we have this wonderful gift of what Sid called consciousness, and consciousness brings everything to life. Wherever you focus this gift of consciousness, brings it to life for you as an experience. You can play with that. You can play with your thoughts. When you learn there's nothing to be afraid of in your own thoughts, when you realize the only thing you're actually being afraid of is yourself, a version of yourself, you realize there's actually nothing to be afraid of. You can play with your own thoughts. When you start to realize that, you're free. And you realize the only thing that imprisoned you was your own thoughts, your own beliefs. Not even the thoughts. That's actually a wrong statement. Your thoughts never imprisoned you. You believed that what you thought was real. You believed that what you thought was who you are. Like an ocean mistaken in itself for waves. Ocean's free. That was another beautiful thing about last night, which Elle said. The lady who sat by the burn in Scotland. She spoke about the water. She said it's just a continuum of itself. Continuum of itself. Just a continuous self. It takes on all kinds of shapes. It'll take on all kinds of twists and turns, but it's just water. It's all water. It'll form a pool, and then it'll leave the pool. It's water. Just being itself. It's just being itself. Taking on all these different shapes and characteristics and wave patterns and ripples and sounds. It's just being itself. Is the water judging itself for the way it's rippling? Don't think so. Has it got a problem with that? Don't think so. It's got a problem with the fact it twists and turns, meanders? Don't think so. It takes on form as a massive lake and then tribbles out as a little stream at the other end. It's got a problem with that? I don't think so. When it falls from the sky, when it condenses, when it evaporates, it's got a problem with that? I don't think so. When it creates itself as a solid, takes on form as ice, has it got a problem with that? Has it got a problem with when it melts? I don't think so. It's just continuously being itself. But it can be anything. It can be gas, it can be solid, it can be liquid. Just always just being itself, creating all those different sounds and different noises. Drips to crashes to bangs. just being itself. It's as natural as we are. Be like water, the Buddhists say. Fluid. What's fluid? What does that even mean? Allow it. Allow the flow of life to take place through you. Allow the flow of mind to take place through you. You have two choices. You can either fight your own mind, go to war with yourself, in the idea that war brings peace. Yeah. That's a very human idea, isn't it? But not a very wise human idea. Or we can learn to accept. We can learn to appreciate. We could learn to appreciate each other and accept each other on this planet. What would this planet look like? Would it be a nicer place to live? I think so. What if we could learn to appreciate and accept our thoughts and feelings? Would that be a nicer place to live in? Up to us. We can keep up the fight. Tell you the only time peace emerges in war is when everybody puts down the weapons. Instantaneously, peace emerges. You don't achieve it. You just stop fighting, and there it is. Just waiting for you to stop fighting. Stop being at war with our own minds, with our own experience, with our own realities. Stop being at war with our own thoughts. There's no peace found at war. None. There's just suffering. Everybody's fucking perfect. And I don't care who the hell I'm talking to. I don't care who's listening to this. The perfection that everybody is looking for, you already are. Just obsessed with thoughts, thinkings. Obsessed with them. Obsessed with them. It's a hobby. You're perfect. You are so perfect, you can even experience that.
I can just, I'm just laughing at myself. Um, somebody says, "Oh, what do you have any hobbies?" Yeah, I like to go to war with my own thinking on a regular basis. Yeah, yeah. Oh, is that fun? No, not really. Yeah, and often I like to bully myself with my own thinking as well. Oh, interesting, nice. Yeah, yeah. The great thing about it, it doesn't cost anything. because like you, I'm like, oh, this is the next thing. This is it. Yeah, yeah. And I go and buy all the stuff for it, and not the cheap shit. No, I have to have the best. Yeah, but no, I've stopped doing that now. I just go to war with me own thinking. The materials don't cost anything.
True. It's very true. It's very cheap. You're right.
Yeah, I'm just like pottering around the kitchen, just laughing. I'm just like, what a dick you were today. Fucking getting bullied by your own thinking, you know. It's like being back
Not
at
even being
school.
bullied by your own thinking. It's being bullied by yourself.
Yeah, totally. Being bullied by myself. You know, just bullied myself. Yeah, and I just look back and I just think, what a dick.
Yeah,
You
well, if
know.
you can say what a
You
dick
got
and laugh, then awesome. If you're looking at yourself and going, what a dick, and beating yourself up for it, keep listening. Just keep fucking
yeah.
listening. Because we really hope that people realize you don't need to take everything so seriously. I love one of Sid Banks's questions he posed to people. He said, who said life was serious? Where have we made that up from?
Uh,
Why have we started to take life so seriously?
I know there's so many, you know, warrior quotes come up, you know, on Facebook and stuff. Life is hard, but you're still standing, and da da da, and you know, and you're a warrior, and
But warriors, right? Warrior. There it is, the fighting. Fight. There's the fight mentality of the human mind. Right. The only way we're going to evolve as a species, in fact, the only way we're going to survive as a species is to drop that bullshit. Right. We fight everything. Fight mental illness. Fight this, fight that. Let's fight for this. Let's fight for that. No,
oh yeah, and
find
you
peace.
know the fight of yeah, cancer.
Everything's a fight. And
Yeah.
fight causes stress. Now, stress causes inflammation. Stress causes disease in the body, right? Like, right, oh, let's keep fighting then. Let's keep fighting everything. That makes so much sense. Let's not find peace. Don't find peace. It's not financially viable for you to find peace. We need to keep you kind of fighting everything. No, find peace.
Yeah.
Find peace. And how do you find peace? Well, you don't find peace by judging everything you think and everything you feel. You're not going to find peace by doing that. You find peace through acceptance. I don't know. What's your thought?
Yeah.
When you were talking about it, just sort of like the physical thing, I remember, I think it was at school when you get taught about in one of the wars, either the First or Second World War, on Christmas Day, everyone put down their weapons and they played football together
Yeah,
as friends and brothers and
humans.
humans
And
one day.
Then we're back to killing each other.
And it's like, but if you could do that for one day, like, I remember it blowing my mind at the time, and then kind of coming across this, it's like, oh no, you're giving permission to be friends today. And
Yeah.
everyone was just like friendly and had a lovely time. And then, oh no, we have to go back to now killing each other. Like, it does seem mad.
Was it Sylvie who came on here one time and said that it took 4 seconds or something for the birds to start singing once the Second World War stopped? The bombing
Oh, I
stopped.
don't
Is it
remember.
something like that?
Well, for people who had him.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like when there's
We've just got everything
like
backwards.
when there's noise, there's loads of noise, and then it suddenly stops. It doesn't take anything to experience the silence. Like, it doesn't, you don't have to try and get to silence. Like, it's the absence of something is what's left. And I think that's the same with this, like the absence of buying into the bullshit. You're left with what is, and that is the, you know, the non-physical silence, space, the whatever it is, ness.
It's life without all the noise.
But the problem is, I think we then think we have to get rid of the noise, and it's like it's that whole twofold or fourfold way of looking at life. Like, we think we have to get rid of the noise to experience silence
Or the peace. Yeah.
or the peace. But actually, what if the peace is what exists? And if the noise is happening, but we're not giving it all of our attention, you still can experience the peace. And it doesn't make sense to the intellect, because you if you try and rationalize that, you think, yeah, but it's the noise.
You can be at peace in the noise.
But
Yeah.
and I think, like you've said, sometimes if I'm trying to, I don't get much time in the day to try and get things done. So if I am trying to get back to an email, like, it takes so much of my attention that I will not hear Lucia saying my name like a million times. And you're like, Jen, I think you need to stop what you're doing and give us some attention, because your focused attention takes away from even like physical, external stuff that's kind of been
And
brought
it's
to you.
amazing how the mind can kind of take its own attention away from annoying noises.
You don't seem to be able to do that.
What, like a radiator or a dripping tap or
It drives you
traffic
mad.
or the train?
If it generally drives you mad.
Like what?
Anything
You were
that,
thinking about Lucia just then.
no, I wasn't.
Oh.
Well, and no, I was thinking about, like, in the room, if there's like a tap, or you have to like sort it out. You can't go to sleep with it.
Mosquito.
Yeah,
Yeah, mosquito. Yeah. That's true.
but you can
I
see,
don't
like,
kill them. I catch them and put them outside.
you've created a device to catch mosquitoes, which is
Okay.
genius. But you can see how, I don't know, like, there could be an annoying noise, but suddenly you get so involved in something in your own mind that noise doesn't exist anymore. Like, your
Attention.
awareness and attention is your everything, and that's why it's not outside. There isn't a method or something to do, because we've all experienced it. We've all experienced the absence of the bullshit, or the absence of the engaging with the bullshit, even if it's just for a second. Like, on the drive home today, we had such a nice time at Forest School, and I was just driving back, and I just felt so full of just amazement and awe, and like, life's just amazing. And then when we had a nice time in town, and then I suddenly realised the time, and I need to get Lucia home and get tea, and then I was trying to do stuff, and I'm just involved in the noise and the importance of trying to get her to sleep before group, and the busyness, and it's like, but it's a contrast, but I don't then go, oh God, right now I need to go back to that feeling I had in the car, because that was fantastic. That was amazing. I need to get back to that. It's just, this is just life. And then as soon as Lucia fell asleep, I'm just like, oh, who cares how long it takes you to go to sleep? You're just so cute. I don't care how many questions you've asked me and how many times you've needed to turn the light back on to see which lion is Simba and which one is Nala. Like, but in the moment, I'm like, if I've turned this light on one more time, it felt really important. And I think that's the fun and the joy of this, is it's not so serious. And you're just here. And then you're in this, and then you're in that, and then it'll be up there over in this physical sense. I don't know what's next, but people always said to us, and people say it all the time, all the little phrases of, it'll go so quick. And suddenly I'm like, oh wow, I've got a nearly 4-year-old. How did that happen? Where's the baby gone? And I kind of look at my nieces now who are 18 and 20, and I'm like, doesn't it, like, in some ways it's a whole other life away, and in other ways it isn't. Like,
Yeah, we've got grey hair.
I haven't got
Don't
any
even
grey
have
hair.
to do it.
I've got no grey
Oh,
hair.
no, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, hair
Thank
dye.
you, Dave. Yeah.
Thank you, hair dye. But I think that's it. The realization of all the sayings and things that people try and point to, like, this is our life. This is it now. And I think this year, you've lost two, like, one really good friend and another friend, and at the ages of 30 and 40 to suicide. And there's been other things I've seen come up on Facebook of, like, friends of friends who have passed from different illnesses, and it's like, this is it. This is our life. I don't know how long I've got, and I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight every shitty mood or try and get away, or I don't know. I think that, like you were saying, I didn't know this until you said it actually, but in 2005, I came to peace with feelings. I came to peace with whatever this is. And it's been a colourful array of everything since 2005. I've felt more deeply
Mm.
since 2005 than I think I ever allowed myself to feel before, in all
On all,
directions. Like,
in every feeling. You suddenly started to allow yourself to feel anger.
yeah, I'm not very good at
You're
it.
shit at it, but
But the thing is, I've got like a master
I-
of it to compare. If I didn't compare myself, I think
I'm
probably
after everything.
it's normal. But
That's right. If you're going to do it properly. You're going to lose your shit. Do
I
it
mean,
properly.
Lucia makes you look like an amateur.
She makes me look like an utter amateur. Yeah.
But it's nice to not. I think we spoke about this last week. Not mask, just be what you are in the moment, and allow yourself to just be what you are. Because actually, what we are is all right.
What we are cannot be known.
Well, it's like, well, which bit are we? But the bit that we are is the constant
Being, the bit we're being. Oh no, sorry, the bit we are. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
bit
Sorry.
that we are, the
Yeah.
bit that we're showing up as.
Is
And like I've
as
been
we're
really
being.
mindful with Luce. Like sometimes I'm like, I can say, I don't like your behaviour right now. I'm not saying I don't like you. I don't like the behaviour, like it's doing my head in. But being mindful of the language that I am using with her, because I don't want her to think there's something wrong with her experience.
No.
And she's allowed. And like I loved it when Linda Ramus was here, because Linda Ramus could turn her hearing aid off. And
What a luxury.
but she's just said to me, isn't it strange? Like she's this little autonomous being, and then we think that we need her to conform into what we say is correct. And she said, but she's her own infinite being with ideas and wants and likes, and
She's bringing her own self to this world.
and I think that's why, like, I've loved it when we have days together of just allowing this noise to come out. Like she wants to sing, she wants to perform, she wants to express, and I don't want to keep telling her that that's too much or it's too loud or it's and there is a place for it, and she's going to learn that because people will move away from her probably in certain times so she will learn that. But I don't want to tell her that her expression in the moment is wrong. Like I want to help keep her safe. I want to help keep other people safe. So there's certain things, there's a guide. I feel like we're guides for her in time, and like putting in place things that will be helpful for her in her life. But I don't want to suppress that spirit of just anything's possible.
It's a balance, isn't it?
Like suddenly she's on an aeroplane and then no, we're all on it, and then we've appeared there, and then this has happened, and she's just lost in a complete anything's possible world. And I try as much as
I think
possible.
she's found. I think she's actually found in the anything's possible world. We're lost in the world where we think there's limitation.
But that's what I mean. I don't want to squash that. And it's like such a weird dance to do with kids of like, we do then live in family and we do live in community. And there are certain things that I can see are going to really help her in life, and certain things that are probably going to make, like there's a book that we read her about a little boy that bosses his pet pig around all the time. And she can see that that's not kind, but when she's with her friends, it's like my way or the highway. But so there are certain things, but it's like
Down pig.
I kind of trust that she'll come to that herself. I don't have to teach that to her. She's so open to learning and life that she'll come up against things and she'll learn. But I can see how all of us, at some point in our life, have had people like telling us and trying to suppress that spirit, that nature, because we've got an idea of what life's supposed to look like and how people are supposed to look. And we all go through a schooling system. And I don't know, I've like today at Forest School, I'm so grateful to be here with her. And there is no agenda, it's child led, and she's just free to like go where she wants. And I feel like that is something that we haven't really allowed in human beings. We felt they needed control and order and boxes, because somehow if we don't have that, I don't know. But then saying that, I did tell you about this experiment I read about to do with boys and girls. I think it's from the 2000s.
With brown eyes and blue eyes.
No, so they put like maybe 15, 10, 11-year-old girls in one house with a film crew and like safety things in place, and then 10 and 11-year-old boys in another house. and they had to sort of get on for a week. The boys like literally wrecked the house and drew on the walls and smashed things and pushed everything to its limit. Within a very short space of time, the girls had come up with cleaning rotas and who's going to do the food, and there was politics and stuff, but it was like there was a lot of order and harmony, and they just said it was such an interesting experiment to do at that age, and then we're trying to put them all through the same schooling
There's some
system.
feminists going mad now.
Why?
Well, what you just said just then.
Well, it's a small experiment.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
You
it's
kind of.
generalizing,
Right.
but I'm saying isn't it interesting that with them trying to put
I'm not arguing with it. I
we're
just think
putting
it's an
people through
interesting thing.
a schooling system
Hmm.
where actually it might not be the time to be trying to school 11 and
Hey, mate,
it was just a really interesting.
I agree with you.
I want to find the actual article because it's on Facebook, and I'm a little bit suspicious now of anything I find on Facebook. I try and actually find
The
the
source.
but then I don't know what that is anymore. If you ask AI,
Probably created it.
no, I don't know. But it was interesting. I don't know.
Let's pretend it's real.
Could do.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I want to pretend it's not real.
No, okay, it's not real.
You're not real.
Don't doubt it.
That's
Right,
what-
is anybody...
I should say that's one of the things we used to show the kids in schools is two kids arguing, it was twins arguing against this little boy saying it's raining, and he was saying no, it's drizzling, and then they were saying no, it's raining. They say my mum says it's drizzling, and they're saying no, it's raining, and then they sort of push him, and then he just goes, "You're not real," and that's the thing that breaks her. She like just completely. Anyway,
arguing over the same thing. And does anybody want to share anything? You thinking, Div?
Oh, it's just in a reflective state, I guess that's the best way to put it. Because I'm just realizing the level of enchantment I have with my personal thinking and the amount of boxes I didn't even realize from the minute you're a toddler I grew up in an extended Indian family. So many shoulds, so much of subtle, unconscious shoulds, a lot of them, but thousands and thousands and the expectations and this and that and what is a perfect slot, married, picket fence, two kids. I managed to fuck up all of that, the whole lot. All the picket fences and all the kids.
Congratulations.
And I'm a fucking gay. I mean, not a gay, I'm gay. Like everything which, if the universe had a sense of humor on a very business Indian family from East Africa and England, in England as well, and all that kind of thing. It gave me one side, which is boarding school, rugby, and brilliant universities and intellect, blah blah. At the same time, underlying all that was chaos. I mean, not chaos, but you know what I mean. So I went through the whole ringer, including alcoholism. I mean, I'm suck. I can speak that here, and here I am, 19 years sober, and three principles came in at some point, 4, 5, 6 years ago. But sometimes you feel like the overwhelm of the burden of the past, which is not there anymore, all that and fighting your parents, not in a physical or a verbal or anything, but values and this and that. It feels sometimes one way I can look at it is the richness of the experience of the coming for getting to be who you are right now and with no expectations. And the other way to look at it, which is the one which creates regret and angst and all that, is that I didn't like some of the things, the material things, and would have been so much easier, Div, if you were not yourself. You could have just slotted in whatever they wanted, whatever this, hung around, and but the universe had different plans. And these are sort of like growing pains, this constant thinking and reliance on intellect, and then coming here and listening, and I know it's the truth because you can feel the clarity about the attention or Sydney Banks or not their wisdom, not yours, but the arising of mind within.
Correct.
So it's like growing pains. I feel like a fucking I don't know. I'm just using a metaphor because that's what's come to mind. Is I can imagine when the caterpillar is going through its first shedding to become a butterfly. I mean, like the first steps, but it's so mind ridden for me. I mean, personal thinking ridden and opinion. But underlying, as you and Jenny have discovered, I like what you said, Dave. You had a spiritual reality check at some point, 2013. I don't know whether I'm there or not there, but
No, that's the thing.
one,
What I found was I was always there.
yeah. You were always there. It hit you
Same
or
as everybody
something.
else.
And it's just, I do wish it would be quicker. I do wish I could find comfort in my own being. I mean, regularly. And as you say, it's always there. But it's wonderful to be in the conversation because the feeling of clarity, whatever that means, at least in the direction of clarity, is an indication that whatever's happening, you're on the right track for this. You're on the right track. You're in the right direction. Let's put it that way. But there's so many wishes and this and that and worry. But it's okay. I am in the right direction. That's the only consolation in a way, and even consolation I have at the moment. Yeah,
Well,
too many words.
let me tell you something, Div. You're here.
Yeah,
You're listening, right?
yeah,
There is an enormous percentage of the people on the planet who would not entertain this conversation. They would think it's a load of crap, right? That's fine. Absolutely perfect where they are. Absolutely. They couldn't be more perfect where they are. They're perfect. You know, the fact you're here and I'm here and Jen's here and we're all here doesn't make us better than them in any way whatsoever. We're all equal. We're all equal, like we're all waves on an ocean. Which wave is more correct? Which wave is better? Which wave is black? No, it's all the ocean. We're all the same thing. So it doesn't matter where we believe ourselves to be, what we believe to be true, what we believe to be right for us or wrong for us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't do away with the truth of who and what we all ultimately are. That's inescapable. Okay, so, but the fact that you're here suggests to me that you're one of the people who kind of, you're aware. You have an
mm,
awareness within you that there is more to life than what I am currently aware of.
yeah,
Okay. And the fact that you've come to that conclusion suggests to me that you are somebody who is in the process of unfolding. You can't really be on the process of unfolding unless like you start to orientate your life in that direction. Where you put your attention is where you get in an experience. You've experienced that. Okay, we've
mm,
spoken about that tonight. And now you're starting to put your attention in the direction of, I think I found this couple or this group of people that are speaking something that resonates. And I'm going to listen more to that. I'm going to give that more. When you come here, you give what do we say what do they call it in school? Pay attention. You pay
mm,
with your attention. You pay attention. Yeah. You give your attention. And as you give your attention, you get to experience something new. You see,
yeah,
and you're starting to discover that. So, yeah, Div, if your correct direction is one that is like the unfolding of your being into higher dimensional thinking, if you want to call it that, or new realities, new, more beautiful, loving, because all awakening is the activation of love.
yeah.
really, God's honest truth. That's really it. It's like it's the activation of love within the self. It's what is that activation? It's the realizing it exists, that you are a love, you are a state of love, that reality is a state of love. It's a noticing that point and then going out and living in life from that point of view. And that's why when Lee said that earlier on, first thing, like Dave, you had a bit of a raj day yesterday. Yeah. But I can still love that feeling. I can still, it doesn't mean I'm in love with it, doesn't mean I'm fucking enjoying it. But one of the aspects of love is not judging.
Yeah.
That is when you're in love with somebody, you don't see all the negative parts of them. You just kind of, you don't judge like that. Love is one where you kind of, it's almost seeing, love is ultimately really seeing life through neutrality. That's what love is. It's seeing things through neutrality. Because everything is beautiful when you look. If you see everything through neutrality, you'll discover everything is really beautiful. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. It's kind of mind-blowing. And that's all we're doing. So if your correct direction for your being is one that is moving in the direction of discovering more about the self, I think that's fucking ace. It's not everybody's path, but the fact that you're here suggests that that's the direction that you've decided to orientate yourself. But don't forget, what you find is here and now.
Yeah.
You don't become something better. You've always been the ultimate perfection. The thing you do is you realize it was true.
Yeah.
You are life itself. What is life? You are life itself. What is life? What is it? What is it to be alive?
Yeah.
Find the answer to that. Find the
Thank
answer
you.
to that question. When you find it, you'll realize you were always it. The magnitude of life, this mad as fuck, infinite experience. Where does it all come from? Who dreamt it up? Me? Who's that me? What is me? What is me? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I love the fact I don't know the answer. It just gives me more to be in awe of life. And it makes me love people more. Brings more love from me to other people. It allows me to love deeper. And I enjoy that. I enjoy loving people. I enjoy connecting with people and loving people. And ace, I have a fucking awesome life because of it. But it doesn't come from outside, it comes from inside. All right. But I think I'll finish by just pointing out, I fell in love with myself. I found love for me. And that love changed everything. Love, the most powerful force in the universe. All right, let's call it a night, everyone. We've gone well past 9. Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Dave. God bless, man. Thanks, everybody, for being here.
Thank you, Dave.
Hey, Johnny, lads. God bless, bud. Thanks so much for being here, man.
you.
You've been loads, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. If
Lots-
anybody wishes to make a
lots of
donation,
love.
please look in the description below.
Wow.
What are you doing, Lise?
Oh, I've got tissues stuck up my nose.
I'm glad we're still recording.
Goodbye.
Right, love you all.
Bye.
Bye.